Good afternoon, everybody. This is just a brief announcement from me just before we get started in a few moments. Could I please just ask all graduates to triple check their tickets and please make sure you're in the correct seat and the correct row before we get going. You're in a specific sequence for the event. Okay, thank you. Guests and graduates, hello. Welcome to this Birmingham City University Award ceremony. Thank you for your patience, we're just slightly delayed. We'll be opening proceedings within the next few minutes. I just need to make some important announcements and requests to ensure that everyone can fully enjoy the occasion. So if I could ask you to all please turn your mobile phones off or onto silent. We welcome the taking of photos and video, but if you're doing so, please try not to stand or block the view of others in the audience. We've got more than 350 students graduating today, and each one who crosses the stage is really important to us, so please do clap and cheer as loudly as you wish as your graduate crosses the stage, and allow others to do so without distraction when their graduate is crossing. The ceremony is expected to last approximately about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. In our experience, small children can become restless during proceedings and sometimes even a little noisy. If your child does become unsettled, can we please ask you to move quietly out of the hall in order that they do not distract other guests and graduates from their enjoyment? We have a comfortable viewing room where you can still watch the proceedings and tend to your child, and your nearest door steward will be able to direct you. Graduates, this bit is important for you. If you have been seated carefully and in a particular order to ensure that every person crosses the stage in the correct sequence. Please do stay in your assigned seat, and when you're asked to come out of your row and move around to the corridor ready to cross the stage, please do not move out of your assigned order. It's absolutely essential that you're sitting in the seat indicated on your student registration card, and if you have moved seat for any reason, please move back to your correct seat now. Okay. Our graduation ceremonies are formal occasions that do follow a traditional format. They begin with a fanfare, following which the academic procession and the Chancellor's procession will enter the hall. At the end of the ceremony, once the Chancellor closes proceedings, could I please ask graduates to stand once again and for guests to remain in your seats until the procession has exited the hall, after which you will be able to leave and join your party to celebrate your graduates' achievements. Now we're about to begin. Can I please ask everyone to stand as the processions enter the hall?
Well, good afternoon. I declare this congregation open, and let me invite you please to take your seats, make yourselves comfortable on this gloriously warm, sunny day. It's my pleasure to preside over this ceremony as Pro-Chancellor of the University, and I'm delighted to be part of such a wonderful celebration of our students' achievements in the presence of families and friends. Please show a warm welcome now to our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Philip Plowden, as I now call upon him to give the opening address.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not sure why it always is a heat wave whenever we do these in here, but I can tell you, after 2 years of not being able to do these properly, it is such a delight to be back. So, Pro-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course all of you who are graduating today, I'm delighted to welcome all of you to Birmingham City University's graduation ceremony. And these are the first ceremonies that we've been able to hold in person since January 2020, something that I don't think any of us saw coming. So welcome back to Symphony Hall here in the heart of Birmingham. We're proud to be the university for our city, the university for Birmingham. And graduation is always a pleasure. Even under normal circumstances, it's a very special day. A day for celebration for graduands, for our university community, many of whom are behind me, and for all the friends, family, and supporters who are here today. But I have to say that today feels like even more of a distinctive occasion than before the pandemic. After more than 2 years of restrictions and virtual events, and with no opportunity to celebrate the success of our students in person, these ceremonies are very special indeed. So thank you for joining us. And I know that those of you who are graduating this summer have had probably one of the most unusual student journeys that anyone will ever have experienced. And for all of you sitting in front of me right now, you couldn't have envisaged that your university experience, something which already demands resilience and determination, would encompass some of the biggest changes and restrictions to our daily lives ever seen in peacetime. But hey, here we are today, and we're now in a position to be able to give you the celebration you deserve. And I'm delighted that during the next month or more of ceremonies that we are going to hold, we will do what we always promised and give each and every student who has graduated from BCU over the last couple of years an opportunity to participate in a ceremony here at Symphony Hall without restrictions and without compromise. So graduands, this is very much your day. But this year, I think above all, I want to start by acknowledging everyone who has supported you on what has been an exceptional journey. And around us are many of the staff who will have supported you in your learning and who are as proud of your achievement as you are. And of course, all around us here are your family, your friends, and your supporters, the people who've been there for you when times were tough. So graduands, can I invite you to give staff and your families and supporters a huge vote of thanks. And I also just want to use this ceremony very briefly to mark something special and sad, which is the retirement of Professor Carol Doyle, who has headed up the School of Nursing and Midwifery with formidable skill, and who has been at Birmingham City University for getting on for 30 years now. Her commitment to the nursing profession, her commitment to exceptional standards, her commitment to you, your futures, and your well-being has been exceptional. We are going to miss her hugely. But again, I invite you to just recognise her achievement. So graduates, the period of your studies has been one where you've seen change on a grand scale, change which has impacted on every aspect of all of our lives. And you, our graduates, and the rest of our BCU student community know this better than anyone else. But I hope that despite the challenges that you have faced, your time at BCU has also been memorable for the right reasons. That sense of community, the friendships that you have forged, the mutual support, alongside the learning. And I hope that you can reflect on the challenges of the pandemic and remember that determination and that adaptability that you have demonstrated, because it's going to stand you in wonderful stead for your future. It's been a time when the universities continued to develop and change, from the redevelopment of the skills hub that you will have seen down at City South, through to the refurbishment of the old Belmont Works on our city centre campus, to serve as a centre for the delivery of our interdisciplinary STEAM portfolio. And it's great to be able to bring the old Belmont Works building back into use. And it's a symbol of the way that this university is part of the very fabric of the city, and has been for over 180 years. Birmingham's been hard hit by the last couple of years, but there remains a real sense of buzz and excitement around the city. It is, of course, one of the youngest cities in Europe, and the diversity of the communities of the city and the region give it a rich and distinctive cultural offer. So it's not surprising that even during the pandemic, the city itself continued to change all round us. The hall in which we're sitting now has undergone a remarkable facelift, complementing the new Centenary Square outside and all the developments over at Paradise Circus. And each week brings announcements of new businesses, new film studios and production facilities to add to the region's thriving industries. And of course, it would be wrong not to note the growing sense of excitement as the city has prepared for the Commonwealth Games, just a couple of weeks away now. It's a wonderful time to be in Birmingham, and I know there are many individuals across our community who are taking every opportunity the Games has presented. And because BCU is so deeply part of our city, it's no surprise to see how our students are part of the preparation for the Games. We've seen the costume design students create the costumes for the opening event of the Birmingham 2022 Festival. And our jewellery students have continued a long heritage of medal making right here in the city by designing the medals which every athlete will be presented with if they make it to the podium of the Games. The last couple of years have made clear why what happens in universities is so important, not just to the cities and communities around us, but to the country as a whole. Nothing could bring this more vividly to life than the speed at which new vaccines have been developed, emphasising the role of research, of knowledge creation, and the development of new practices. Knowledge has never been more important and more significant, and that's something that each of you provides evidence of as you celebrate your graduation today. And that's why today's ceremony is so important. It's right that we gather formally to recognise what you have achieved. And these rather unlikely caps and gowns that we're all wearing are part of a long tradition that reaches back hundreds of years, and they capture something of that respect for knowledge and respect for your status as graduates. Because graduates are important. In every society, you are important. Graduates live longer, they're more productive, they contribute more to society around them. They're more likely to volunteer, to vote, to lead. Graduates have better health But above all, graduates are well placed to deal with change. And many of you are going to live long, long lives. And during your lives, the world in which you live will change, not once, but many times. You'll not have one career, but many careers. And you will often need to master new skills and new knowledge and to learn afresh. And that's where being a graduate is so very important. You have skills that equip you to learn. You have the habits of learning. And today we celebrate not just what you have achieved, but also what you're going to go on to achieve. Our history can be traced all the way back to 1843. And while we have changed often and often during the past 180 years, we've stayed true to our founding purpose. We remain focused on learning that makes a difference to the world, and in ensuring that our graduates all around the world make a difference to their societies. So, my challenge to you is to celebrate what you've achieved, your personal achievement, your personal transformation, but to see it as a broader commitment, a commitment to transforming the world around you. You'll have all seen the I Am BCU images all around our campus and the city and here today, and that came from you, our students, who told us that being part of BCU meant something to you. It meant pride, it meant confidence, and above all, it meant a unique sense of belonging. So I Am BCU isn't just a slogan or a strapline. It's about being part of an extraordinary family, and you will always be part of our BCU community and part of our outstanding alumni body. But graduates, today is very much your day. Today's the day when you celebrate against all of the odds and all of the challenges you have faced. You celebrate achieving what you set out to do. And I salute you. Graduates, thank you. I now call upon the Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Executive Dean of the Faculty of Health, Education and Life Sciences, Professor Ian Blair, to commence the presentation of award holders, and on the Pro-Chancellor to receive the students.
Sadly, the first award this afternoon is to be made posthumously to Lillian Sandra Mudzavari, one of our former students from the faculty. With the university's sincere condolences, I would like to welcome Lillian's family to receive the posthumous award of Postgraduate Certificate, Advanced Clinical Practice on her behalf. Pro-Chancellor. As Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Executive Dean, I present students from the Faculty of Health, Education and Life Sciences who have qualified for the award of degrees, diplomas and certificates. I commence by presenting the candidates for the award of research degree. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy for a thesis entitled Displaying Multiple Birth Family, an exploration of how first-time parents negotiate the realities of multiple birth family during the first 5 years. I present Dr. Laura Maguire. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy by the submission of published works for a thesis entitled Dementia Care, Nurse Education and Nurse Wellbeing, an autoethnographic critical analysis and review, I present Dr. Catherine Jenkins. I now invite Claire Wilcox-Tolley to the lectern to present award holders from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing, Adults, Rebecca Avenel. Kathleen Baker. Molly Benson. Millie Booth Davis. Minerva Bunkel. Kate Coulson. Deepak Darwal. Charlotte Dilueo. Kaylee Dudley. Victoria Ferguson. Imogen Fisher. Stephen Gibb. Matthew Green. Raj Gurung. Jade Hutchinson. Amy Kerman. Kelly Lipson. Eva McDermott. Stuart Mills. Kyle Mistry. Nicole Norman. Emily Patterson. Leanne Pickford. Amy Ross. Pramod Shershin. Ellen Silcock. Daniel Simpson. Gabrielle Smith. Isabel Stevens. Sibongin Lanyana Pearl Bilakati. Ashley Wardle. Megan Warman. Bethany Wright. Nicholas Clifford. Jessica Jagger. Elizabeth Johnston. Claire Mason. Julie Muircroft. Samantha Risugan. Master of Science in Professional Practice, Cardiac Care, Richard Rushforth. Master of Science in Professional Practice, Healthcare, Arzak Galib Ahmed. Sharon Leticio. Emma Praveen Kumar. Master of Science in Safeguarding, Colette O'Neill. Postgraduate Diploma in Professional Practice, Healthcare, Darryl Iborda. Postgraduate Diploma in Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, Health Visiting, Marlena Barry. Momtaz Begum. Wendy Joanne Bell. Melissa Chalk. Tanya Knight. Amy O'Brien. Abigail Parkhouse. Corinne Price. Chloe Ross. Victoria Simmons. Sophia Maria Way. Nadine Weir. Postgraduate Certificate in Clinical Hypnosis and Related Techniques, Emily Cooper. Georgia Giavi. Postgraduate Certificate in Healthcare Workforce Planning, Delivery and Assurance, Christine Capopo. Cindy Storer. Postgraduate Certificate in Professional Practice, Acute Care, Emily Smith. Postgraduate Certificate in Professional Practice, Cardiac Care, Lucy Gibbons. Harjinder Kaur. Postgraduate Certificate in Professional Practice, Neonatal Critical Care, Emily Fisher. Postgraduate Certificate in Transforming and Leading in Healthcare, Selina Wilson. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Midwifery, Jessica Desforges. Roxana Khan. Lucy Perks. Elsa Simpson. Jasmine Taya Carey. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing Adults, Naima Abdi Hassan. Nazra Abdullah. Sylvia Agu. Hasina Ahmed. Moza Ahmed Ali. Firdousi Akhtar. Humaira Akhtar. Margaret Aladi. Afisa Ali. Rosina Amin. Farouk Asher. Amanda Banda. Bushra Begum. Lucy Bond. Keela Brinkley. Sasha Brunt. Joanne Bub. Layla Buchanan. Jodie Chester. Jane Chimbawera. Sultana Chowdhury. Rebecca Clark. Jasmine Copcutt. Nadia Dixon. Lottie Drew. Juliet Egbo. Seraphine Epi. Charlotte Fisher. Florence Frimpong. Anissa Gale. James Gibbs. Jodie Graham. Saffron Griffiths. Sophia Guilano. Shanti Gurung. Amisha Gayuji. Ragda Hamid. Emily Hetherley. Anna Hughes. Georgia Hulse. Holly Jakeman. Lillian Kamalamu. Olivia Kane. Manish Shakur. Ramanpreet Kaur. Shanice Kaur. Baptiste Kengui Kamkui Jean. Ibrahim Khan. Labiba Khan. Bushra Kanoon. Tamana Khatun. Mariam Kizar. Zoe Killick. Kate Kirby. Mandy Karoma. Danica Lantin. Samantha Lester. Linda Leposo. Janita Linnick. Lisa Marshall. Libby Mason. Stacey Page McDonnell. Abiba Mekanen. Ellen Mensa. Georgina Metcalf. Ikmat Mustafa. Hilary Engerman. Susan Nakomo. Emanuela Nisa. Ewan Osorobo. Paula Parmenter. Zainab Rahimi. Shanice Rule. Rawiya Sajad. Fakiba Samate. Ryan Seymour. Zikra Shahid. Wadzane Shikula Mahadi. Chantel Sterling. Henna Tabassum. Lee Tamba. Lauren Taylor. Awet Tasfam Mariam. Lydia Tesfam Mariam. Mercy Adu. Aruna Wahid. Katie Whitehead. Salima Yuma. Dahabo Zen. Muna Zen. This completes the first presentation of awards to graduates from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
And this completes the first presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Health, Education and Life Sciences. I now invite the Vice-Chancellor to introduce the recipient of the Alumni of the Year 2022 award.
We are this afternoon delighted to be conferring the award of Alumnus of the Year upon Professor Mark Radford, and I now call upon the University Orator to give the citation.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduates. Today we confer the award of Alumnus of the Year on Professor Mark Radford. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no greater satisfaction for us up here on the platform than to see our own graduates not just making a name for themselves in the wider world, but making the world a better place. And of few can that be more sincerely said than of Mark Radford, graduate of the class of 1994 BSc Hons in Nursing. He was part of what was only the second cohort of that course, based at what was then called the University of Central England. And you could say that as the course has grown in significance and prestige, well, so has he. After graduating, Mark became an operating theatre nurse before returning to the university to study anaesthetics, followed by an MSc in advanced nursing practice and, in 2012, a PhD. His instinct for innovation led to new ways of approaching perioperative care, which were duly rolled out across the NHS. And his instinct for research dissemination saw him publish frequently on the same topic. And now his co-authored book, Preoperative Assessment and Perioperative Management, is a standard text for students and practitioners. It was not long before his talents were nationally recognised. He became one of the youngest nurse consultants in emergency care in the UK. That led to advisory roles to the Department of Health's National Confidential Inquiry into Patient Outcome and Death, the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, and the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence. He's also served on the Executive Committee of the British Anaesthetic and Recovery Nurses Association as chairman in 1999 to 2001 and as president from 2005 to 2009. But now he has reached still dizzier heights. Currently, he's Chief Nurse and Deputy Chief Executive of Health Education England and Deputy Chief Nursing Officer for England. And that job meant he was involved in a huge project that has benefited many of us here today. You will recall the massive effort that went into phase 1 of the COVID-19 vaccination programme. It required a person with rare qualities of organisation, stamina and instinct for welfare to oversee the recruitment and training of a workforce to deliver the programme, to see that tens of thousands of clinicians and volunteers signed up to the task of administering 15 million jabs, and then that they did their job safely, meticulously, courteously, and with science and the public good at the forefront of their minds. That person of rare qualities was, of course, Mark Radford. Now, in normal times, the job of Deputy Chief Nursing Officer for England is no less demanding. Recruitment and retention, skills development, maintaining the quality of management and leadership, tackling inequality, breaking down barriers, ensuring places of work are rewarding, positive, filled with opportunity, enabling more volunteers to support frontline staff. They are all part of the job description. But on top of those daunting responsibilities, Mark has continued to invest time in educating future generations of health practitioners. To many of you here today, his face may be familiar from visiting professorial lectures and supervisions. In education circles, his influence has also been felt among our friends at Coventry, where he served as Chief Nursing Officer for University Hospitals Coventry and Warwickshire NHS Trust in 2012. There he led a major teaching centre with a turnover of £70 million and over 8,000 staff. And for all his contributions to the nursing profession, he was awarded a CBE in the most recent New Year's Honours list. Ladies and gentlemen, universities should ideally be known for the ideas they create, for the impact of those ideas, and for the brilliant people who devise them. In Mark Radford, we see someone who embodies those ideals to a truly extraordinary degree. So, Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduands, it gives me great pleasure to invite the Vice-Chancellor to confer the award of Alumnus of the Year on Professor Mark Radford.
So, as Vice-Chancellor, I exercise the authority of the University's Academic Board, and I am delighted to confer the award of Alumnus of the Year on Professor Mark Radford, and I invite you, Pro-Chancellor, to present the commemorative trophy. So that completes the conferment of the award of Alumnus of the Year, and I will now get out of the way and invite Mark to address the congregation.
Where do I start? I just love my job, really. So it's absolutely phenomenal to be here and be part of your day to celebrate your success. It's a real special honour, it really is, to be part of your day today, and a university that I owe so much, and I'll touch upon that if I may. But like many of you, I was probably one of the first people to go to university, but with me, actually, it was last century, to be fair, so it's been a while. And like others, I had a really checkered schooling where motivation and achievement was a bit hard to come by, if I was honest, but I made up with it with cheekiness and a lot of spirited nature, I think, was what my teacher said.
But I always remember as I left secondary school, a teacher said to me, gave me a ringing endorsement in my ears and said to whisk me on to my new chapter of my life that my aspirations for university were utterly misguided and I really should consider a career in the infantry. So it was with some surprise, I can tell you, that I rocked up at the one-stop shopping centre to walk across under the underpass, blinking into the light of a whole new and exciting world. And that was University of Central England at Perry Bar. The other reason you had to blink a lot was because it was the world's massive wind tunnel through there, and it was really cold, and it flung grit everywhere. But it was going to be my home for the nursing degree for the next 3 years. I loved everything about it, its architectural quirkiness, the faint whiff from the ICI chemical factory, and the immensely exciting paternosters in Baker Building, which you need to probably Google them now because they probably don't exist. But it was my university and it was my city and I absolutely loved it. I am so grateful for so many people that took time and saw potential in, I'll be honest, a really very cocky young man who was swaggering into a university through his first lectures in Cock and Baker Building. But I really needed shaping and guiding, and this faculty helped guide me, shaped me, filled me with wise counsel and wisdom all the way through my university years. But it wasn't just at this university, it was in this city. And without doubt, the experiences I had along the community midwives and the families of Winson Green, the learning disabilities nurses supporting service users in Digbeth, the older people's care team that I worked with in East Birmingham Hospital. But I worked alongside some amazing people in the rich, diverse community where I lived from Borsall Heath, Erdington, Edgbaston. This real city helped shape me. I'm proved to say that actually improved my vocabulary. I'm slightly odd mix of accents, especially when I'm under pressure. So it's peppered with often a bit of Kent, with a lot of hint of Brummie, especially if I get a bit stressed. I often put Gamble and Cobb into the mix as well, just to confuse my London colleagues professionally because they don't understand. But I do like to say that as the Army advert touches upon a touch of ironic cheekiness for me, I may have been born in Cyprus, but I was absolutely made here in Birmingham. So anyway, rather than the ramblings of somebody who trained as a nurse last century, this is your day and your celebration of what you've achieved, and I know that you'll be so thankful for all the support of your family and friends. Your education and learning journey has been phenomenal to your graduation today. But I have to say, you are a really very special group of students throughout this hugely challenging time of the global pandemic. And I know that you would like me to thank not only your family and friends, but this faculty here for everything they've done in terms of their support through what has been a really difficult journey. And I know my role nationally, how important they've been, but also you have been in support of your services to make your community safe. But I've got one ask of you, like the Chancellor and the Vice-Chancellor, that being a professional in the roles we do is a huge privilege, and we touch the lives of individuals, families and communities, everything we do. I've always been really clear that education and training that we receive as part of our degree is partly built on a set of values that we bring to work and what we want to achieve. But it's also about how we enhance and develop others. This pandemic has massively exposed already existing injustices and inequalities in our society that have been hugely amplified as a result of this pandemic. This includes the experiences of black and minority ethnic communities who have faced disproportionate impacts on their health. There are many other examples where we need to get our society right. It is important for me that we recognise that our influence to power and change this is fundamentally sat in this room. And whilst it may appear like we have a deeply polarised society at times, one thing I and this great city has taught me is that absolutely, with an open and inclusive heart, we can achieve great things. I know that individuals like you can have immense impact with your new careers, your new passion, and what you bring to the communities that you will be caring for. Now, whether this is with one individual patient or with one family or with your wider community, never ever underestimate the power and impact you will have on those lives of those individuals. And our society needs to grasp that through you, to bring voice and agency to those who can't, to bring your expertise to change, to deliver equality and justice in our society, but also importantly act as role models for future generations that will come after me like you have done today. So we will not only be judged on how we manage this pandemic, but we will also be judged on how we build back in a more inclusive way to tackle what we know exists in our society through the privilege that this education has given us. So my words really can't do any justice, so I'm going to finish on somebody that inspires me, which is the words of Michelle Obama. You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all the world's problems at once, but don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that with courage can be contagious and hope can take a life of its own. Thank you, well done to all of you.
Congratulations, Mark. Very well done. Thank you so much for that, and I'm delighted now to invite Professor Ian Blair to continue the presentation of award holders from the faculty.
I invite Claire Knowles to the lectern to present award holders from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing, Child, Samaya Alam. Humera Ali. Tamana Ali. Well done, Tamana. Anisu Begum. Jessica Brunt. Sarah Chugtai. Pedine Dunkley. Alana Forbes. Joanne Gates. Brogan Greenwood. Nasteo Hassan. Latia Hay. Hannah Hayati. Emily Higgins. Charlie Hopwood. Megan Hughes. Freya Jones. Navdeep Kaur. Maria Khan. Kerry Langford. Daisy Levitt. Megan Lovering. Maria Moores. Junaid Naveed. Eve Nicholas. Anya Chukwu Ukwani. The Queen Osei. Jade Rigby. Kyra Robbins. Karen Roberts Shepherd. Samantha Sabika. Ellie Shooter. Flora Sloruk. Gemma Wetton. Zara Zefran. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing, Mental Health, Rebecca Adesina. Mavis Anjanu. Fumalayo Awanlagun. Bethany Biddle. Rachel Breakwell. Nicola Bura. Anisha Clark. Shantai Davis. Yvette Debatu. Elizabeth Eze. Radine Fitzpatrick. Sheila Garacho. Melissa Gonzo. Joshua Gregory. Olivia Kanyinda. Shori Kashindi. Abiodun Kufariji. Tina Mahubaba. Oops. Rhiann MacDonald. Jacques Bishwecker. Nei Chi Mirabel. Natasha Mobed. Agnes Moyer. Gwendolyn Munadawafa. Kunde Mwale. Tinashe Ngundu. Right. Portia Nyamakanga. Okay. Elizabeth Oyedeye. Mavis Opong. Stacey Pedley. Anisu Sharway. Kiranbir Sharma. Thandiwi Sibanda. Vanessa Walker. Jolene Whitehurst. Feven Zanos. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, Health Visiting, Marika Sebright. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, School Nursing, Caroline Gallagher. Thank you. Bachelor of Science in Clinical Hypnosis and Related Techniques, Louise Fulsham McFall. Bachelor of Science in Gastrointestinal Care, Claudia Irikponor. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing Mental Health, Robert Hombiro. Bachelor of Science in Professional Practice, Acute Care, Michelle Bignell. Bachelor of Science in Professional Practice, Cardiac Care, Navneet Airy. Wilfred Tember. Graduate Certificate in Clinical Hypnosis and Related Techniques, Hannah Coleman. Deepika Deviram. Leanne Reeves. Graduate Certificate in Fundamentals of Primary Healthcare Nursing, General Practice, Olumbumi Asafa. Karen Mohammed. Laura Nightingale. Graduate Certificate in Professional Practice Cardiac Care, Stacey Dudley. Bachelor of Science, Foundation Degree in Science in Nursing Associate, Hayford Adjei. Aderonki Akinkuoto. Thomas Arkle Allchurch. Letitia Atkinson. Claire Barnett. Naseem Begum. Jessica Britton. Katie Butler. Joseph Casero. Elizabeth Coley-Wellings. Amelia Conn. Maria Del Rosario. Sheila Jalawi. Lindsay Dugmore. Alice Dunphy. Julia Adesei. Emily Egan. Amina Fatima. Rachel Doris Fortis-Mayer. Kate Goleska. Marilyn Green. Courtney Griffin. Elaine Grogan. Fiona Gunn. Amina Hamid. Victoria Hillman. Helen Howard. Gladys Alagan. Daniela Jasper. Hannah Johnson. Kerry Kent. Alana Kinghorn. Scarlett Quack. Ronki Lawal. Zaituni Minor. Chloe Meacham. Anthea Meeks. Chloe Millward. Gemma Murphy. Ashley Nash. Danielle O'Carroll. Cody Pearsall. Emily Pinks. James Robbins. Amy Russell. Casey Jane Sheeran. Georgia Shaw. Daniel Spurrier. Amy Thomas. Emma Walker. Progress Zimba. This completes the presentation of awards to graduates from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
This completes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Health, Education and Life Sciences. I now invite Portia Nyamakanga, who has graduated this afternoon with a Bachelor of Science with Honours in Mental Health Nursing, to address the congregation.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It is a great honor to be asked to speak to you today. A special day for me and my family, just as I'm sure it is for so many of you here today, at the culmination of our studies. The first thing I would like to do is thank several people on behalf of all of us graduates and our guests. I would like to start by thanking our Pro-Chancellor. Thank you for the interest you have shown in our achievements and for your commitment to what is, in one respect, quite a tough gig. Over the course of this week, 5,000 students are going to cross this stage. I would like to thank you, our Alumni of the Year Award recipient, Professor Mark Radford, for sharing some of your thoughts and experiences with us. You have given us so much to reflect on as we embark on our careers of our own. Our talented musicians from the Royal Birmingham Conservatory have helped us to create a wonderful atmosphere for our special day. Please join me in giving them a warm round of applause. Today marks the end of the year of years of hard work, as well as thanking those who have made our ceremony itself so special. I must also thank all the academic and professional service staff who have helped us make it to this stage today. Thank you for your guidance, your expertise, and your enthusiasm. I would also like to take this opportunity to offer a formal thank you to our family and friends, whose encouragement, support has been so crucial. So in a moment, I will ask all graduates to stand, turn around, and join me in giving them a well-deserved round of applause. So graduates, please stand. Thank you for that. I'm convinced I made the right decision to come to BCU, and I'm sure you all agree with me. This class of 2022 is a unique class. We have shown tremendous resilience through the pandemic. We must be commended for the dedication we have shown to our studies in the adaptation of the new norm. Today marks this testament to ambition and perseverance that each one here has demonstrated. BCU made the adjustments easier, and the student support was amazing. I quickly came to understand what a friendly, welcoming place it is and what opportunities it offered me in the expertise of the teachers, the personal tutors, the great facilities, and the sense of ambition for what we can go on to do in the future. I must mention the High Achievers Recognition Scheme, which also contributed to my student experience. Every one of us will have had a unique journey through university. I may have been one of over 24,000 students, but I've been treated like an individual since the day I arrived. I was supported by amazing staff and by my fellow students, encouraged to work hard, pursue my dreams, and be the best that I can be. And of course, as we set out on the next stage of our lives, we are still individuals with our own distinct ambitions, but we are also united as something no one can ever take away from us. We are the class of 2022, a permanent part of our university's history. One last thing before I finish. This is just the beginning for us all. Use it as a platform for the rest of your lives. Take what you have learned here and go out into the world with confidence. Whatever you do, keep learning. Stay open to new ideas. And above all, be proud. Be proud of yourselves. Because today we became graduates. Congratulations, graduates! And in my culture, we do this. I now invite the Pro-Chancellor to close the ceremony. Thank you.
Come on, what a character. We can do better than that. Big round of applause for Claudia, please. Well, it simply remains for me to add my own personal congratulations to all of you receiving awards today. I offer my very best wishes to you all for the future, whatever that holds. I'm not going to stand in your way any longer this afternoon, you'll be pleased to know, as I'm sure celebrations beckon with families and friends. So I now declare this congregation closed, and we'd be very grateful if you would stand and remain in your places while the stage processions leave the hall. Thank you.